Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Welcome to our channel, Pray and
Pray&Preach.
Preach. Today we are talking about something very, very important.
And serious.
Yes, that is talked about quite often. We hear about it a lot, but still it needs to be stressed upon more because it is like so important. Like Prabhupada says that no matter how much spiritual advancement one may make, if this thing comes in the way, everything is destroyed.
Yes. And Mahaprabhu said that only two things if a devotee can do, the love of Godhead is definitely going to be there with the devotee. The one first is to chant the holy name always.
Yeah.
And the second is not to commit Vaishnava Apraadh.
So she said it. This video is about Vaishnava Apraadh. And so we'll be talking about so many, we kind of always give an overview of everything.
Yes.
We can't always go so deep because it's so deep.
Whatever we are speaking, we can give you the references and you can search it
Yourself.
on later.
Yeah.
But just we would request everyone to please be very attentive.
Yes.
And we'll try to give everything related to Vaishnava Apraadh and how to repent and how to seek forgiveness for the same.
Mahaprabhu, he describes Vaishnava Apraadh as the mad elephant Apraadh because like a mad elephant, if he goes into a very, very beautiful garden, he'll stomp all over it and destroy everything. And so just like Vaishnava Apraadh, no matter how much spiritual...
We create a beautiful garden.
Yes. So Mahaprabhu, he's instructing Rupa Goswami and he's describing him about this Bhaktilata beach, right?
Yeah.
So this plant, it's described as a creeper. We know what creepers are. They're not real plants. They depend on others.
Yes.
And so they depend on trees to protect them.
And to grow further.
Yes. And so they're the type that they can get lost.
And they are very weak actually.
And they're very, very weak.
You must be seeing
they
any
really,
people.
really need guidance.
Yes.
They really, really need protection. They really, really need shelter. And
at that time, it's like a baby actually.
Yeah.
Like a baby when the baby is born,
Yeah.
it's like very infant and very
Yes.
susceptible to die actually.
Yes. So the most protection that we need is from Vaishnava Apraadh. So all the trees are like our gurus and our shikshas, gurus and the Vaishnavas. They're helping us. They're giving
They
us
are like the
something
wish
to...
fulfilling trees that we are going to be protected from. Vanchakalpataru.
Oh, Vanchakalpa. Yes. True. Yes. So when the mad elephant comes in, he destroys our plant and our garden. No matter how beautiful, no matter how big, everything becomes destroyed. So this is the importance. So now we will go into a more deeper understanding of it. So there are three ways one can offend a Vaishnava. One can perform Vaishnava Apraadh. And these three ways are mentioned by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And so the first way is, and all these people who make Vaishnava Apraadh, they're considered to be wicked people.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the first way is one may criticize the faults of the person that existed before bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, manifested in the heart. So,
yes.
but the actual fact is that the moment bhakti manifests in the heart, the moment, it's a beautiful way it's said, the moment bhakti appears in the heart, all unwanted qualities disappear.
Yes.
So how can one even criticize someone?
Yes.
And also one crazy thing is that Vaishnava Apraadh, to offend a Vaishnava is an Apraadh.
Yes.
But to offend even a jiva is a sin. So can you imagine
you cannot
even in the first place criticize someone.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you're going to try criticizing a Vaishnava.
Who is very dear to the Lord.
Yes. And so, this is like just absolutely crazy.
Because honestly speaking, every jiva is a part and parcel of the Lord.
Yeah.
So they are hidden Vaishnavas.
Yes.
It's just they have to take up to Krishna consciousness and they can be purified. Like
Yeah.
us, we were not. I was not Krishna conscious before,
Yeah.
but now that I have taken this path, so it's like
Exactly. Also, Prabhupada says that, Mahaprabhu says actually, that the greatest Apraadh is Guru Apraadh.
that. Yes.
So that's when you criticize the Guru. So this is a very, very common situation where one may criticize the Guru. Oh, look, before he used to, I don't know, eat onion and garlic, or he used to...
He was a hippie before.
He was a hippie before, or like he has all these, he was like very dirty, and these are all the things, the impurities that were there before Bhakti manifested in the heart. But even those shouldn't be criticized.
Yeah.
Bhakti, Thakur is saying this. So the second
Like
thing...
Jagai Madai again.
Yes.
Like they became the pure devotees of the Lord.
Yeah.
Who cares what they were before?
Exactly. And if you criticize these before, you're a wicked
You're done.
person. You're a wicked person. But not only wicked, you've destroyed your entire garden.
Yes. That's why in the last video I said that those who are not serious about their spiritual life, they're going to welcome Vaishnava Apraadh and welcome all the sins and all the Apraadhs.
Okay, so the second point is that the second way to commit Vaishnava Apraadh is when one may criticize something that, so for example, someone is on the path of bhakti and they're getting purified on this path. And on this purification path, someone may criticize this person for something, some impurity that he still has. So that is an offense. Understand?
Yes, got it.
And so this is a really...
मतलब जब तक वो शुद्ध नहीं हुआ है,
yeah.
उसके बीच में भी अगर कुछ अनर्थक, struggling अनर्थक है,
yes.
and then he falls down or commits any mistakes,
Yeah.
we are not supposed to criticize him for that also.
Oh, this will come in the third. But okay, but on the path, like just these impurities that are mentioned right now.
Yes, yes.
So we can see, like, even if a Shuddh Bhakta, for example, Dhruva Maharaj, he actually, we were just recently listening to a class by His Holiness Kadamakanana Maharaj, and he was saying this story about Dhruva Maharaj, how when the yakshas are like the tribal people, and they do military arts like in a very unjust way.
Mystic way.
Yeah, they do like mystic powers, and Kshatriyas, they fight according to Dharma, everything. If one drops a sword, then the other will drop the sword and fight by hands. Everything has to be equal.
Yes.
But these yakshas, they killed Dhruva Maharaj's brother by some like cheating means. And so Dhruva Maharaj became so mad that he not only killed the person, the yaksha, the specific yaksha that killed his brother, but he was trying to kill the entire race of yakshas. So he is a pure devotee. He saw the Lord. The Lord came to him, manifested himself when he was, if we know the story of Dhruva Maharaj.
Like he downloaded all the Vedic knowledge with his, conscience.
Dhruva Maharaj is this pure devotee, and you're thinking like, why? Yeah, he killed the killer of his brother, but why does he have to kill everyone? Like this, like what? Where is this anger coming from? This anger is not the quality of a devotee.
Yeah.
So you may think, but Kadamakanana Maharaj is saying that even if someone is a pure devotee, sometimes there are traces of material contamination, and these traces though cannot be criticized.
Yeah.
And it's a Vaishnava Apraadh to criticize these traces. And so this also can apply to Guru. If we're seeing the Guru in this way, if we're trying to find some fault in the Guru, and please try to understand how deadly Vaishnava Apraadh is, Guru Apraadh is. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yes.
Actually, we prepare separately, and then when we come together, it's like it's nectar for both of us, because whatever she says is new for me, and whatever I say is new for her. And so like this, it's like, I don't know, we're both getting nourished.
Shashyanti cha, Ramanti cha. Real shame.
So, the third and final way to commit Apraadh, Vaishnava Apraadh, is by, you kind of mentioned it,
Yeah.
although the Vaishnava is never like committing any offenses, sometimes just due to providence, just due to having the 4 defects of making mistakes and cheating and imperfect senses, and due to living in the material world, due to providence, the Vaishnava makes a mistake, has a fall down. If in this case someone criticizes that Vaishnava, that is still Vaishnava Apraadh.
Yes.
So the fact that Bhakti Vinod Thakur is mentioning this, that Vaishnavas do make mistakes, but they should not be criticized.
This comes to a point that I was just listening to these days, is that how, like, when Yudhishthira Maharaj went to Bhishma Dev when he was lying on the shield of arrows and was preparing to leave the body, how he said that, how Bhishma Pitama, he said on the deathbed that prarabdhas are carried by the time for normal people, but for devotees the time carries the will of the Lord. This means that whatever providence and whatever downfalls or the fall downs are happening, which we think that we are so just to criticize, which this actually is all the plan of the Lord, to bring them close to their lotus, to His lotus feet.
Yeah.
So we should always see Krishna's plans behind every
situation.
Because I was in that chapter also, it is mentioned that even the sadhakas, not talking about the pure devotees, even the sadhakas, their life is also controlled by Krishna. And whatever is happening in their life is also the plan of the Lord.
Wow. And how can you criticize Lord Krishna's plan?
Yes, and they are away from all this karmic cycle.
Yeah.
Even the sadhakas.
Therefore, Rupa Goswami, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, he kind of summarizes these 3 topics. He says, one should never reflect upon the faults of a bhakta, namely those that were present in him before bhakti awakened in him. Those temporarily remain during the time that his heart is purified through the practice of bhakti, and those that may appear in him accidentally due to providence. One who reflects upon any of these faults not with good-hearted purpose, but rather with slanderous intent, is a blasphemer of saints and is extremely dreaded. So, these 3 Apraadhs, they lead to Nam Apraadh.
Yeah, okay, now it comes.
So, these 3 Apraadhs lead to Nam Apraadh. And if Nam Apraadh is present, then you will not get Spurti. Spurti?
Spurti.
By Nam Apraadh, you will not get Spurtis. That's the correct pronunciation. It's like SPH.
Yes.
So it's a bit... Anyways, but this word means spiritual revelations, divine revelations of the holy name.
Yes.
And so without these divine revelations, one cannot be a Vaishnava. So now understand, if you're committing these 3 Apraadhs, then you're committing Nam Apraadh. Then you cannot even be a Vaishnava. So then what is the use of practicing bhakti? Like, what is the use of your existence? What is the use of
Achha, those... So those who are committing offenses to the Vaishnavas, they themselves think that they are Vaishnavas, but here it's mentioned they are not Vaishnavas.
Yeah.
So
no, but they cannot be Vaishnavas. They cannot even be Vaishnavas.
That's
so
right.
They're just ruining themselves.
Yes.
Like, it's just a whole self-destruction.
Yeah, self-sabotage.
Exactly. So in Srila Narottam Das Thakur's little message that we read, it says that those who are criticizing with not a good motive. So this points out something interesting, because Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur further dives into this and says, someone can criticize, carefully critique, he says. Carefully critique a Vaishnava if he sees some flaw or something, if it is for the better welfare of that person who's being criticized, if it is for the welfare of the world,
Mm-hmm.
and if it is for the welfare of oneself. So, welfare for that person, that's constructive criticism. Oh, Prabhuji, like we're both on the path of bhakti together, and this thing that, like, criticizing that devotee is gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt your bhakti lata. So, let's not do that. In a kind way, you can say, you know.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
benefiting for the world.
Or, for example, coming in this is that if somebody is very senior to you, but you can
Yeah.
see some faults sometimes, is that you can tell their authority that this is what this person is going through, and you can tell their authority because their authority can handle the situation.
Yeah.
Because you are younger, you are
Neophyte.
so you cannot speak.
Yeah. Also, in the case of for the welfare of the world, it's the example is given of a guru instructing the disciple. The disciple may ask, "Oh, Guru, what is a Vaishnava? And who is the non-devotees and who are the devotees? Who should I associate with?" Then the spiritual master may point out, "Oh, the person who blasphemes the devotees, that is not a devotee. Oh, the person who eats, breaks the 4 regulative principles."
It's not
I mean, it's not that he's not a devotee, but like should
like it's not a Vaishnava.
yeah.
Like pure.
yeah. So, in that case, he's benefiting the world, and for oneself, he's seeing the he's like carefully critiquing a Vaishnava he's seeing some flaw in, for himself. He's like, "Oh, this Vaishnava is doing this. I don't want to do this myself." So that's also these 3 ways one can, and so carefully critique.
No, that's a nice term
Yeah.
to always meditate upon.
And so, Bhaktivinoda
Carefully
Thakur, he
critique.
kind of ends this, and he says that we should very, very carefully analyze all of this and process it in our brains and understand this, because this there's an wavering, one rule that cannot be changed, is that there always must be respect for the Vaishnava. And if you're going to break this, then
Yes.
that's your own downfall. And so, please take it seriously and always keep this in mind and try your best to stay away.
Yeah.
So now, Anuradha Krishna Prayasi Devi Dasi Mataji will tell us some leelas of those who have criticized the devotees in the past, and how they
what was the repentance they went through.
yes.
So the first thing I wanted to share is that how we have seen that when the people in the material world,
Yeah.
when they lose their why power, they when they lose the cause of their living, they end up becoming frustrated.
Willpower.
Not the willpower, but like
What is the
okay,
why
everything.
power?
Why power is that? Why are you doing this?
Oh.
What is the driving force behind your
Yeah.
activity in a day? You know, in
Motivation.
your life, motivation.
Inspiration.
Yes, inspiration. So the moment they lose their why power,
Yeah.
that's the moment when they are frustrated and they just wanna end their lives, or they are depressed
Yeah.
because okay, everything is done now. We have seen so many celebrities; they have all sorts of opulences that
Yeah.
people are dying for, but they die
Yeah.
committing suicide. So similarly, what happens when you're a devotee and when you come to Krishna consciousness, your why power has been given by Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And these 3 are the fundamental principles given by Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First one is the Namaruchi, then Vaishnava Seva, and then comes the Jiva Daya. And it's so interesting to know that how these 3 are connected to each other. Like for example, if you have Namruchi, then only you will have the urge to serve the Vaishnavas. And if you have
What is Namruchi? Taste to chant the holy name.
taste to chant the holy name, and one might think that okay, I don't have taste,
Yeah.
ruchi is after anartha-vritti,
Yeah.
and nishtha, so I don't have this ruchi. But still, if you're practicing sustained rounds of chanting every single day, there has to be some amount of ruchi. Maybe it's because of the instruction that has been given to you by your guru or Srila Prabhupada. So now when you're chanting like that, you have this urge to do some Vaishnava Seva. And otherwise, if you're not chanting and if you're not serious about japa, then the moment you'll see the Vaishnava and you want to run away. Then,
Or maybe you want to commit some Apraadh.
commit Apraadh, or you just want to see and then, oh, ye to mujhe ab seva de denge, to bhag jao. Like, and because of Vaishnava Seva, you get the blessings from them to do Jeev Daya,
Which is?
preaching. So that is how it is connected. It is all connected. Nam Ruchi, Vaishnava Seva, and Jeev Daya. So the moment a devotee loses track of these Y power, that is Nam Ruchi, Vaishnava Seva, and Jeev Daya, that's when the Krishna consciousness goes down, and then in the Krishna consciousness also a devotee feels depressed, and it's just sometimes there's a fall down happens, or they just want to stop it. Otherwise, how can this be true that something which is so relishable that we are seeing that people are having Ashtasatya Vikar is making you feel depressed? So just because of us not being so convinced about these three fundamental principles, the cause for a devotee, we forget that, okay, we join
This is
Krishna
a blissful
consciousness
process.
for a reason, for these three fundamental principles. The moment we lose track of these three principles, you're done.
Wow.
So the opposite comes here.
It's like the equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah. So three detrimental principles to this is Kutinati, Jiva Hinsa, and Vaishnava Apraadh. So just a small introduction for these three terms is that Kutinati is just being very political with a devotee, or just trying to put them down. This all comes under Vaishnava Apraadh actually. Then comes the Jiva Hinsa, to literally hit someone or like being very violent.
Wow.
Okay, and then comes
To a jiva.
To a jiva.
That means anything.
anyone,
Anything, even a tree, because that's
even
a jiva.
a ant. But like to be specific, violence happening in the society sometimes. So we have to
Wow.
be careful about that. And then comes the Vaishnava Apraadh, which is of course deadly.
Yeah.
So all these things, like three things, it's important to be done, and three things are detrimental for a devotee's life. Now comes to the Leelas. Now we are going to talk about that how in the past those devotees or those sadhakas who literally committed Vaishnava Apraadh, how they fell down from their stage of spiritual perfection even. So first comes the Durvasha Muni and Amrish Maharaj's pastime. And everyone knows it's a very famous pastime that how Amrish Maharaj was fasting for Ekadashi, and he was fasting Nirjal for the Ekadashi, and Durvasa Muni was when he came back. Okay, so we are not going to go to the depth of the pastimes. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 8.5.15. If you can go through, you can read the whole pastime. But the gist is that when Durvasa Muni came, then he saw the Paran time was like, what do you call it?
Prana time.
The Paran time was going to get over, and Amrish Maharaj was thinking that, okay, what should I do now? So
Prana
he
time
just
is the time to break the fast.
Yes, on the Dwadashi. So he just literally sipped one drop of the water, because the water is something which breaks your fast and not break your fast at the same time. So, and the moment he did that, Durvasha Muni came and he was like, you did it without me? You opened your fast without serving the Munis first? And he was literally like, cursing him and all that. And then Amrish Maharaj was silent, because the characteristic of a devotee is that he is very shant. He is not like speaking to and fro. So that moment, the Sudarshan Chakra came from Vishnu, because he was committing Vaishnava Apraadh. Lord Vishnu was like really mad at him. And he's saying, only thing can save you now is if you fall at the lotus feet of my pure devotee Amrish Maharaj. So he went back, and the Sudarshan Chakra was following him, and the heat of the Sudarshan Chakra, it is mentioned there that it was burning him because it was so powerful. And the moment he paid obeisance to Lord Amrish Maharaj, Then Arish Maharaj prayed that, oh please, may he be forgiven. I forgave him. Then the Sudarshan Chakra vanished. But this is the example how Lord gets very angry when somebody does any Vaishnava Aparadh to his devotees.
I was just reading, Srila Prabhupada kind of summarizes this past time, and he says that because Durvasa Muni was he had to run for 1 year.
Yes.
He was, because of Vaishnava Aparadh, he was running for 1 year. Can you imagine running non-stop for 1 year? Then
With the Sudarshan Chakra.
but we are thinking the sun here, which is like 44 degrees or something
Yes.
in Vrindavan, is boiling hot. The sun right behind your back.
Yes.
That's insane.
And also not just the sun temperature.
It's Sudarshan Chakra.
Sudarshan Chakra carries
Yeah.
the potency of like burning the whole entire manifestation.
Wow. So, but also Durvasa Muni is like very exalted devotee, so he has kind of mystic powers. So he's not like so perishable like us. So
Yeah.
but still. Okay. So then Prabhupada says that even it's like very notable that he took shelter of the Lord himself, and the Lord couldn't protect him. So that.
Yes. So I was listening to my Guru Maharaj's lecture about this pastime in the Gaur Leela, where there was Srivas Thakur and Gopal Chapal. So they had a communication. Gopal Chapal.
Chapel.
No, Chapal means chapel.
Okay.
So they had some arguments about Srivas Thakur said that just by the Namabhas, just by not the chanting of the pure name, but only by the Namabhas you can get the pure, liberation.
Oh, wow.
That was not
digestible
by Gopal Chapal.
Chapel.
So he was saying, this is Adishokti, like this is too much exaggeration. So he mentally committed this, and then he spoke this also to Srivas Thakur that no, I don't think so. If this is true, then may my nose starts to, like, I get leprosy. If this is true, and this was true. So after he committed this Vaishnava Aparadh to him, he got affected by the leprosy.
Wow.
So he went to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, falling on his lotus feet, that Mahaprabhu, you are the protector, please protect me, I'm suffering like anything. And then Mahaprabhu said, no, you're going to you're going to die in hell, you're going to burn yourself in hell, you're going to go hell now, because since you have committed Apraadh to my pure devotee. So Mahaprabhu was not, and then my Guru Maharaj was saying that how Navdeep Dham is considered to be the Audarya Dham, the merciful land. But still, you cannot go wrong with Vaishnava Aparadh even there. When Mahaprabhu is a manifestation of mercy, compassion, he cannot forgive you for Vaishnava Aparadh. So that's a really big thing. Then comes Shaubri Muni, like how Shaubri Muni was doing tapasya. It's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.17.11, just before the past tense of Lord Shri Krishna in the 10th canto. So Shaubri Muni was doing tapasya inside, like, underwaters, and he committed some offense against Garud, who is like the most beautiful bird. But like of all the birds, the best bird is Garuda. It is mentioned, and of all the serpents, the best is the Sheshanak. So Garuda holds that position. So he committed against Apraadh against Garud. So at that time, since he was doing tapasya underwater since so long, but just after that, because of that Vaishnava Aparadh, he fell down from his perfectional stage by the mating of the two fish. Can you imagine? Like, this is a really bit of a poor situation. You can fall down with the mating of a fish. Wow. So anyways, and then he had to marry a lot of 10,000 wives of Mandata or something. Yeah. But it is mentioned in this pastime. So,
and he would criticize Garuda because Garuda would come in and take fishes from the water and eat them. And he was like, this...
no mercy, like the fishes are so happily.
Yeah, because you could see, like, he's in the water, he's supposed to be meditating, but he's just like...
fault finding!
No, he's just like getting absorbed in the life of the fishes. Like, oh, this fish is so nice, this fish is so nice.
So I asked this question once to my Guru Maharaj, that Vaishnava Ninda is so subtle that when sometimes people blaspheme us, we are unable to stop our minds to think that the same way about them as well, even though we don't want to. What should we do then? Is it an offense to a Vaishnava then? So he said that you see someone insults you as a Vaishnava, then you don't take it seriously because you don't consider yourself a Vaishnava.
Wow! Wow!
We don't consider ourselves as a Vaishnava. We are just aspiring to be one. If they have something critical to say, we would like to hear it and try to amend our activities accordingly. So in Hindi, there is a saying that Nindak Nire Rakhiye. That means that you have to keep the critics next to you, so that in order for you to advance in whatever you're doing. So if somebody is saying anything wrong to you, you can just see the good. Is that anything which is really he is saying is good for me that I can improve?
Yeah.
Then I can improve and be better.
Yeah.
And if something, the criticism is coming just because of enviousness, then we can just keep it away because we know that he's just envy.
Yeah.
So we are not this. Actually, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he also says that in one of his interviews that how he also follows this, that whenever the criticism work, I try to work on myself, and sometimes I can just see that this is because of the criticism from the other party. So then I just keep it away. Now we are going to discuss a little bit about what are the reasons that one end up committing Vaishnava Apraadh. So this is because lack of relishment in Krishna consciousness. That means that we are not absorbed in so much in the pastimes, in the guna, leelas, qualities, in the reading of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the reading of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and hearing about Krishna or Gaur Leela or like just the amazing things about devotees that we have nothing to talk about. So the tongue has always to go on. So what's going to talk if there's
the tongue
because
can never stop moving.
Kali Yuga influence is so strong that if you are not constantly engaging your activities, your senses in Krishna consciousness, you are just a workspace of Maya and you're just going to blabber always Vaishnava Apraadh, criticism, faults, and you're not going to see that you also have faults, but you're just going to relish talking about someone, gossip, this and that.
An empty mind is a devil's advocate.
Yes. And also, Maya's workspace is the mind. So it's just going to create situations.
If you're not filling your cup, then Maya will fill your cup.
Yeah.
If you're not filling your cup with Krishna, Maya will fill your cup.
So I see this as that we have a beautiful fairy tale with Krishna, that we are jivas and Krishna is our hero. We have to go back to Krishna.
Yeah.
The only villain is the Vaishnava Apraadh. So, yeah.
That should be the title of this video.
Yeah.
The villain of devotional service.
So
who is the villain
what
of
is
devotional
the
service? Dun, dun.
So what is the ultimate result that one should aspire after reading all the Shastras, all the Bhagavad Gita, all the beautiful scriptures given to us by Acharya Srila Prabhupada? What is that end result? Is that one has to have humility. Now I was thinking that after listening to this lecture, one lecture, okay, is this really humility? Because I was thinking the whole gist of all the Vedic literatures is that you surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. But actually what it means is that humility is the key, because when we see the 6 symptoms of surrender, the last one is the humility, karpanya. So humility is already there in surrender. So you have to be humble. If you're reading Shastras, you're becoming a really scholar devotee, but you're not humble, then you're missing out the point.
Wow.
You have to be
And we'll
humble.
end on the most amazing pastime of humility. One time, Lord Krishna told Yudhisthira Maharaj, you go please find someone who is sinful, who is making mistakes. Go find me an abominable person. At the same time, he told Duryodhana, oh Duryodhana, please go find me a perfect person. Go find me a person, like a very, very nice person. Find me. So, both of them go out looking for their persons. Duryodhana comes back. He's like, Krishna!
And they both came with no one.
Yeah, exactly. He comes back empty-handed, and he's like, Krishna, like, I cannot find a single person who is pure, who is perfect. I cannot. Everyone has some faults. Like, everyone. I cannot find a perfect person. Like, it's impossible. So he's empty-handed. Yudhishthira comes back. He's also empty-handed. He's like, Krishna, I cannot find someone who has any faults more than me. More than me. Everyone has some admirable thing. So can you imagine the humility of Yudhishthira Maharaj, the king of the entire world?
Personification of dharma. Okay, so just the last thing that I wanted to mention here is that the reasons that we commit Vaishnava Apraadh is that if, like, Srila Prabhupada was so merciful, Mahaprabhu was so merciful, they were always seeing the good qualities in everyone. If Srila Prabhupada would have seen the bad qualities, there would be no ISKCON movement, there would be no Krishna consciousness, we would not be here with the tilak and the kanti on.
Yeah.
So that means that the tendency to commit Vaishnava Apraadh comes when you don't have a fraction of the humility or the compassion that Srila Prabhupada had. Because the moment you have compassion, you will not see the faults and you will not try to criticize anyone. Because the compassion means that, okay, everyone goes through this, yaar. Like, api chetsu duracharo bhajante ananya bhag sadhureva himantavya. Let's do the shlok. That how everyone commits, like, Srila Prabhupada gives an amazing example that when a child tries to walk, the child falls down a billion times. And then one day, he really walks.
Yeah.
So similarly, we are all devotees, we are diseased people. We are in this shelter of Krishna Conscious Society for Krishna ISKCON
International
Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, and we have to help each other grow. And this is also comes under devotee care. We are not trying to pull each other down. Like, we have to help each other. We have to grow together so that we all can go back to Godhead, which is the ultimate.
Which is the desire of Krishna.
This is the desire of Krishna, and we really want to please Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. Like, Srila Prabhupada, this is an amazing thing that I heard in Amrit Prabhu's lecture, that he said that Srila Prabhupada did it when he didn't see us. We saw Srila Prabhupada, but what are we doing for him?
Wow.
Like, imagine. Like, he already did so much when we were not there in the world. He didn't see us.
But he did so much for us.
Yeah.
But we're seeing how much he did and we're not doing anything for him.
Yeah. So this by becoming serious and sincere devotees, we can give a lot to Srila Prabhupada. And that's what Srila Prabhupada wants to see. That are we really practicing, are we really taking efforts to stop committing Vaishnava Apraadh and make it a habit to put the Shravana water and Kirtan water for that
cup.
Bhakti Lata beej to grow and roll around Krishna's lotus feet one day.
Also, I was just thinking about humility. Can you imagine? In Goloka Vrindavan, we are all the servants of 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 the servants eternally. Like
It's like Hare Krishna.
how can you, if you're not humble after being the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant,
Yeah.
like then like
You're
like
missing
you
the
cannot
point.
you cannot be there if you're not that humble.
You cannot go back home to Godhead if you're not humble.
Yeah.
Like Pranada Pishanichina. So, anyways, last thing was that since Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, our dearmost Vaishnava Thakur, he just left the world to join to the eternal pastimes of Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram Gaur Nitai, and Srila Prabhupada. So, I just read something, I heard something in a lecture that somebody asked Maharaj that, Maharaj, what is the secret of your success in Krishna consciousness, that still after 50 to 55 years of your Krishna consciousness, you're still very much determined and you're trying to follow Srila Prabhupada's instruction as he's just next to you. Like, how is it possible? How can we have that service attitude to our gurus as well? Then he said the only thing, he gave like two things, and he said uncompromising morning sadhana and no Vaishnava Apraadh. That is his success to get the love of God.
His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. No Vaishnava Apraadh ki jai. All of you ki jai.
Yeah, going back home to Godhead ki jai.
Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Nam Nam ki jai.
All the rest of us assemble devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for
From this video, we are humbly paying obeisances and respects to each and every of you. And if we have ever committed any offense by our words, minds, thoughts, activities, please forgive us.
Your humble servants.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Like even Mahaprabhu, who is the most merciful.
You can go wrong.
You can't.
You can go wrong with Vaishnava Apraadh. If you can't go wrong, then you can commit Vaishnava Apraadh. But if you can't go wrong, then you can go wrong.
Oh man. Okay, whatever. So